Welcome back to Bull Sessions here on 680 KFEQ. You can email your questions or comments to bull@willcross.net. Once again, here's Randy Baker and agronomist Brad Law.
Okay, we're back with more Bull Sessions. We got through that list.
That was a wonderful list. And if anybody missed it and they're just tuning in, maybe you got out and was checking cows, or you were digging, looking at your stand of beans or your corn, checking for weeds or something, and you're like, man, I missed that list. That must have been good because they're still talking about it. It was ways to annoy your boss, all inspired by things that have been done to Randy Baker.
By Brad Law.
Okay. You can hop on over to YouTube and search for today's episode, and you'll check it out, and you can listen to that again.
You're pretty proud of those lists when you're condemning me, aren't you?
They seem to get better ratings.
I
when
bet
I
they
do.
do.
That.
I bet they do.
It's like you've got a fan club that is pushing for your demise.
Personally, I think that he's just watching all the videos over and over.
I do too. It's him doing it, Miles.
I don't have that much data on my phone plan to do that.
One thing you have to think about, though, is most of the people listening out here to us today are they're their own boss.
Yes.
So it's probably the things that they do to annoy themselves.
There could be too. Yeah, they are their own
Or maybe
boss.
they could annoy each other or something. How am I going to annoy the neighbor today?
Exactly. Now, I got to clear up one thing on your list.
What?
You know, on that, what'd you say, an upper GI? I'm not
Yeah.
sure that you even know how to spell GI, but we'll go
I
with
suggested that
it.
you have a upper and lower GI done because you clear your throat an excessive amount
I
of
know,
time.
Miles says that too, but you haven't heard much of that lately, and I think I know why. I quit taking my blood pressure medicine.
So now you're going to have high blood pressure.
No, I've
and
been
you did
taking that
You did
for
that
years.
at the end of planting season.
I've been taking that for years.
Okay.
And
Gentry County Ambulance and DeKalb County ambulance workers, we would
high alert.
greatly appreciate you circling the Seed house and Randy's house frequently.
No, my blood pressure has not changed since I quit, and my throat has cleared up, and I don't get them splotches, you know, like I was getting on my hands and so forth. Now, I've got to go talk to the doctor in June, and I'm going to tell him then
So
that I've done this.
you're going off of a professional recommendation. You're going against that and not telling him that you're doing it. Does your wife know?
Yes.
Well, she is now that it's on the radio.
Yeah, she does know. She does. I don't think she's...
If anybody knows of a good funeral service,
You've been wanting to put me out to pasture. This might get me there quicker than you think.
okay, now how could, does she have life insurance on you?
Oh,
Is she
yeah,
the sole
lots of it.
beneficiary on that?
Yeah.
Do you think she'd be willing to share any of that if anybody could increase your blood pressure?
See, you could be farm manager like you've been wanting that job for a long time. I really didn't have high blood pressure till I started dealing with you, Bradley. You know, you've got a bean of the week.
I've got a bean
that
of the
guy
week.
that we was listening to a while ago is James Fisher. He's from right here at Eagle Radio. He's one of our best buddies, and we're going to bring him on in a minute. But did you get the bean of the week?
Yes, I got the bean of the week, and it's an awesome bean of the week.
Okay, what is it?
We have our 7398s.
It's enormous bean.
The 98. Okay. Yes, it is tawny. Yeah. Go Miles.
Way to go, Miles, future agronomist.
Actually, it almost looks more orange. I mean, it is the most orangest bean in the whole lineup. When you see that in the plot, it's like there's the 98s. You know what?
Orange.
That bean is a 3.9 maturity. It is a glide tolerant bean, so it's got that price deal on it that is good.
Yeah.
It has handled SDS even without, it's done really good against SDS without any extra treatments and stuff on it. Longer season bean, so as we get later in the planting season, most people think, when it gets towards the later in the planting season, we want to plant shorter season beans.
Yep.
No, we want to plant longer season beans
Correct.
so they hang on longer, and 3.9 would be one that could do that. We've got some longer ones too if you're interested in that. It gets about 39 inches tall. It is a medium bush, and it handles stress good. We've had it excel on bottoms that were
Oh, yeah.
wet. over around Pattonsburg even, and we know those are wet bottoms.
Yep.
And we've had it out on the prairie, and it has excelled out there.
Yes, it has. Everywhere we've put it, really.
Yep,
In
and
most any
you
kind
will-
of weather condition or soil type.
Yep, it's just been a consistent bean that's been around. We've had it, we've tried it, we've not got any surprises with it, that it's been a good, consistent bean for us.
Now, what color was it again?
Orange.
It's not orange. It's tawny. You can't say that, can you? He never has been able to say that.
He can't say tawny.
He
Tawny.
can't say tawny.
See, there I said it. Tawny.
Okay. Give him 5 minutes and ask him again, though. Okay. Thanks, Bradley, for the Bean of the Week.
You're welcome.
Now we're going to move on to our buddy James Fisher. He is an employee here at Eagle Radio. I don't know, he might own it. Well, he is a part owner.
Well, it's an employee-owned company, so I do own a piece of it, yes.
So, Bradley, we're with royalty here today.
At the
I don't know about that.
James, you come from Gower, America.
I did. I grew up in Gower, actually in the small community of Fraser, which is
Yes.
if you're familiar with that area, it's a close knit. The entire area is kind of like a big family.
Sure they are.
And actually, they're almost all related, except for my family, which kind of moved in from a different area when my mom was little.
Everybody I talk to down there, and I know several people from Gower, everybody knows you, and nobody says nothing bad about you. Now, how do you do that? Bradley, admires that very much.
See, Randy's very envious.
I am.
Well, thankfully, you haven't talked to some of the right people, because not everybody probably would talk great about me. But, in general, I stay involved in the community and try to do things that help benefit the community, the East Buchanan School District, our community as a whole, and just try to take an active part to provide ways for people to be involved and to benefit more other people than ourselves, our own family, and that kind of stuff.
That's what we're all about here. You know that.
Yeah, a lot of the times in agriculture, you see that every day. I mean, in agriculture, if there's a farmer that gets hurt,
Yes.
the neighbors all help.
Yep.
And that's kind of how rural America works for the most part. And so that's one of the things that I grew up with in our community. That was an important aspect. And, my family just has a very small acreage. We raised some registered Angus cattle, but I worked for the neighbor down the road all through high school and college, and they're like family to me as well. And they, being involved with them like I said, we just had cattle for the most part, but they raised all kinds of crops, and they had hogs and cattle and sheep and horses, and just the whole aspects that you think about on a rural America farm.
Sure, and most people did back then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very diversified.
Very diversified.
We're kind of specialized now. We either are row crop or cattle.
Or
you don't hear much hogs anymore. That's what I'm going to do, Bradley. I'm going in the hog business.
Okay, are you going to put up a confinement?
No, we're going to do it the old-fashioned way. We're going to...
Pastured pork?
Yeah.
Pastured pork.
Hey,
What do you think?
I'm not sure it's profitable any longer, but you can, if you, I'm not sure your banker will support it, but
I'm all in then.
that's what.
This sounds like a typical Randy Baker
Yeah,
scheme.
it does.
If it doesn't make money, I'm all in.
So, but one of the things that we decided to talk about was community involvement. One of the activities I'm involved with is the East Buchanan Agriculture Foundation, which one of the key things that we really try to do there is provide opportunities for the students in our school district that are involved in agriculture that wouldn't have those opportunities otherwise, or if they would have a small opportunity to help increase that opportunity.
Yes.
In the last couple of years, we raised money to put a new large animal facility on the school farm. We're fortunate enough that our school has about a 60-acre farm, I believe it is, that the kids can have projects on. And so we've had hog facilities on there. A couple of years ago, we bought a chicken coop. So we actually have some kids that have done incredibly well with their poultry projects. But we've added a new barn. It's about 40 by 120 in length.
Wow.
So a nice, it's a hoop barn, but it's a great facility for the students to have larger animals. So they're able to do sheep projects there, or cattle projects, and just a variety. So whatever they work with the ag teacher with regard to their supervised agricultural experience program projects, they can do that, and then they work together as students, the teachers, and the community to kind of pull it all together for there on the farm.
Wonderful.
So
That is awesome stuff.
It is wonderful. Bradley's little boy Gentry is in here. He's 6. And Bradley's got his boys in 4-H.
Yep. He's Clover Kids, I'm assuming.
Clover Kids, yes. And I so love seeing that when it's not just, where they're still dealing with chickens and goats and sheep and pigs and all of that. It's nostalgic for me, and I don't know if, you can never bring the old times back, but yet I think if we diversify a little bit more nowadays, we wouldn't have so much aggravation with these markets.
The experiential learning that they get from that physical involvement and that responsibility for something other than themselves really helps them understand responsibility outside of themselves when it comes to other people and
That's
not
everything.
only in that light, not only growing up, but in your professional career as well, learning that it's not always about you, that it's more about the community that you live in.
Exactly. We've gotten so far away from that. Our culture now, it's all about me.
Yeah.
It's all about money. It's all about, if you got to cheat your neighbor, then do so. It's whatever. And there's still a lot in rural America that is not like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's and I think that we can change that piece by piece, but we can. It's an effort that we have to do.
Of course. Okay, we got to take a short break again for just a minute. We've got more coming up with Bradley, Miles. Lady in Ag will be up here in just a moment. You're listening to Bull Sessions on 680 KFEQ.